There is a version of you that wakes up every morning and immediately gives its power away. Before your feet touch the floor, your mind is already somewhere else, thinking about yesterday, worrying about tomorrow, checking what other people are doing, replaying conversations, measuring your life against someone else's life. And without realizing it, you begin the day reacting instead of choosing. But imagine waking up tomorrow with a completely different mind. Imagine opening your eyes and not immediately reaching for your phone. Imagine having a mind that does not need permission from other people to feel confident. A mind that does not collapse because the morning brings bad news. A mind that knows exactly what deserves attention and what deserves to be ignored. A mind that can look at difficulty and say, "This may be hard, but it does not get to decide who I become." That is what Stoic discipline can begin to build. The Stoics understood something that modern life makes incredibly difficult to remember. Your first battle of the day is not with your workload, your enemies, your problems, your finances, or the people around you. Your first battle is with the condition of your own mind. The way you begin the morning quietly teaches your brain what kind of person you are going to be for the rest of the day. If you begin with distraction, you train distraction. If you begin with anxiety, you strengthen anxiety. If you begin by seeking validation, you teach yourself that your peace depends on other people. But if you begin with intention, discipline, clarity, and self-command, you begin training a completely different identity. This is why the morning matters so much. It is not because there is something magical about a particular hour of the day. It is because the morning gives you a psychological advantage. Before the demands of the world become loud, you have a small window in which you can decide what kind of person will meet those demands. Marcus Aurelius understood this battle intimately. He was not writing philosophy from a comfortable distance from life. He was an emperor surrounded by political pressure, war, illness, betrayal, responsibility, and uncertainty. Yet again and again, he returned to the same fundamental question: what kind of mind will I bring to the circumstances I cannot control? That question belongs to you too. You may not control what happens today. You may not control someone's attitude toward you. You may not control whether someone appreciates your effort. You may not control the economy, the weather, other people's decisions, unexpected bills, rejection, criticism, or disappointment. But you can control the mind you bring into the day, and that is where the transformation begins. The first morning rule is simple, but it is one of the most powerful disciplines you can practice. Do not give your mind away the moment you wake up. The modern world has made this incredibly difficult. You wake up, reach for your phone, and within seconds your mind is flooded with information that has nothing to do with the person you are trying to become. Messages, notifications, news, arguments, advertisements, other people's achievements, other people's relationships, other people's opinions, other people's problems. Before you have even asked yourself what matters today, hundreds of strangers have already told your brain what deserves your attention. That is a dangerous habit. Your attention is not an unlimited resource. Whatever repeatedly captures your attention gradually shapes your thoughts, your emotions, your desires, and eventually your behavior. When you begin every morning by allowing external noise to take control of your attention, you are starting the day from a position of weakness. The Stoics would tell you to reclaim that first territory. Before you consume the world, meet yourself. Before you ask what everyone else is doing, ask what you need to do. Before you read other people's opinions, Remember your own principles. Before you enter the emotional atmosphere of social media, establish your own emotional atmosphere. This does not require a complicated morning routine. You do not need an expensive journal, a perfect meditation room, or a perfectly organized schedule. You need a few minutes of deliberate control. When you wake up, resist the urge to immediately consume. Sit with your own thoughts. Ask yourself, what matters today? Ask yourself, what is within your control? Ask yourself, what kind of person you want to be when difficulty arrives. And most importantly, ask yourself what you refuse to sacrifice today. Maybe you refuse to sacrifice your peace for someone's approval. Maybe you refuse to sacrifice your focus for meaningless distractions. Maybe you refuse to sacrifice your dignity because someone treated you badly. Maybe you refuse to sacrifice your long-term future for temporary comfort. These decisions may seem small, but they are not small. Every morning, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. When you repeatedly choose discipline over distraction, you become more disciplined. When you repeatedly choose patience over impulsiveness, you become more patient. When you repeatedly choose your priorities over other people's demands, you become more self-directed. You are not simply completing a morning routine. You are rehearsing an identity, and eventually, what you rehearse becomes what you naturally do. This is why you should stop thinking of discipline as something you either have or do not have. Discipline is not a personality trait reserved for a special group of people. It is a behavior strengthened through repetition. Every time you tell yourself, "I will check my phone later," and keep your attention on what matters, you are strengthening self-command. Every time you feel the urge to react and choose not to, you are strengthening emotional control. Every time you are tempted to stay comfortable but choose the meaningful task instead, you are strengthening your ability to act according to principle rather than impulse. This is how you begin to rewire your mind, not through one dramatic transformation, through hundreds of small decisions that teach your brain, "I am the person who chooses." And once you become the person who chooses, the world becomes less capable of controlling you. The second morning rule is to decide what is within your control before the day decides it for you. This is one of the central ideas of Stoic philosophy, and it is also one of the most practical principles you can carry into modern life. There are things you control, and there are things you do not. Your effort is yours. Your preparation is yours. Your words are yours. Your choices are yours. Your attitude is yours. Your response is yours, but another person's opinion is not yours. Their behavior is not yours. Their feelings are not yours. The past is not yours. The future is not yours. And the outcome of every situation is not entirely yours. The problem is that most people spend enormous amounts of mental energy trying to control what was never theirs to control. They wake up thinking about whether someone will respect them. They worry about whether a particular person will stay. They obsess over whether other people will recognize their value. They become angry because someone behaved unfairly. They become anxious because they cannot guarantee the outcome. And then they wonder why they feel exhausted before the day has even begun. The Stoic approach is radically different. Instead of beginning the morning by asking, "How can I make everything go my way?" ask, "What is mine to do today?" That question changes everything. If you are building a business, your responsibility is to work intelligently and consistently. You cannot command the market to reward you today. If you are creating content, your responsibility is to make the best content you can. You cannot force people to click. If you are trying to improve a relationship, your responsibility is to communicate honestly, behave with integrity, and establish healthy boundaries. You cannot control another person's response. If you are pursuing a goal, your responsibility is to take the next meaningful step. You cannot guarantee the final outcome. The moment you understand this, an enormous amount of unnecessary anxiety begins to disappear. You stop demanding certainty from life. You stop expecting everyone to behave according to your preferences. You stop treating every obstacle as a personal attack. You stop wasting energy fighting invisible battles. And that energy becomes available for something far more valuable: action. This is one reason Stoicism is so powerful for success. It does not tell you that everything will work out. It teaches you to become the kind of person who can remain steady whether everything works out or not. That distinction is enormous. A fragile person needs favorable circumstances to feel powerful. A disciplined person carries power into unfavorable circumstances. The goal is not to create a life in which nothing goes wrong. The goal is to create a mind that does not fall apart whenever something goes wrong. So when you wake up, establish your circle of control. Look at your day and separate the things you can influence from the things you cannot command. Then place your attention where your influence actually exists. If there is a task you have been avoiding, do it. If there is a conversation you need to have, prepare for it. If there is something you need to learn, study it. If you made a mistake, correct what you can. If someone dislikes you, accept it. If someone misunderstands you, explain yourself once when appropriate, then release the need to control their interpretation. This is not passivity. It is precision. You are learning where to spend your psychological energy. And that is one of the greatest forms of success. Because a person who learns to direct their energy toward what they can control becomes extremely difficult to distract. The third morning rule is to decide who you will be before circumstances try to decide for you. Most people wake up with goals. Very few wake up with a character. They say, "Today I need to make money. I need to finish this project. I need to get more done. I need to answer these messages." But the Stoics would push you deeper. Who are you going to be while you do all of that? Will you be patient? Will you be disciplined? Will you be honest? Will you be courageous? Will you remain calm when someone provokes you? Will you keep your word to yourself? Will you continue when the excitement disappears? This matters because success is not simply about achieving external results. It is also about becoming capable of carrying those results without losing yourself. A person can become wealthy and remain mentally chaotic. A person can become successful and remain controlled by approval. A person can become powerful and still be terrified of rejection. A person can achieve recognition and still wake up every morning feeling inadequate. External achievement without internal strength can become another form of slavery. The Stoics were interested in something deeper: character. They understood that your character determines how you use whatever life gives you. Give an undisciplined person more money, and they may simply create bigger problems. Give an emotionally unstable person more power, and they may create more conflict. Give an insecure person more attention, and they may become even more dependent on validation. But strengthen the mind first, and external success becomes something you can handle rather than something you desperately need in order to feel valuable. This is why your morning should contain a deliberate character decision. Before you enter the day, decide, "Today I will not allow anger to make my decisions. Today, I will not chase people who have chosen distance. Today, I will not trade my long-term future for temporary pleasure. Today, I will finish what I said I would finish. Today, I will speak carefully. Today, I will listen before reacting. Today, I will not allow one difficult moment to ruin the entire day. These are not motivational statements. They are instructions to your future self. Because somewhere later today, the test will come. Someone will say something you dislike. Something will take longer than expected. A message will arrive that irritates you. A plan will fail. Someone will ignore you. You will feel tired. You will feel tempted to procrastinate. And in that moment, your morning decision will become useful. You will remember that you already decided who you were going to be. That is what preparation really means. Preparation is not predicting every problem. Preparation is deciding how you intend to meet problems before they arrive. The ancient Stoics practiced a form of mental preparation in which they reminded themselves that difficulty was part of life. They did not do this because they enjoyed suffering. They did it because surprise often magnifies fear. When you accept that today may contain frustration, disappointment, delay, criticism, and uncertainty, you become less shocked when those things actually appear. You stop saying, "Why is this happening to me?" You begin asking, "What is required of me now?" That is a completely different mind. The first question creates helplessness. The second creates agency. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing that someone may disappoint you, knowing that your plans may change, knowing that you may encounter an unpleasant person, knowing that something you worked hard for may not produce immediate results. And instead of being frightened by that possibility, you say, "Whatever arrives, I will meet it with discipline." That is mental strength, not the absence of problems, the presence of preparedness. And there is something else happening beneath all of this. Every time you practice responding rather than reacting, you weaken an old mental pathway and strengthen a new one. Your brain learns through repetition. If every time you are angry, you immediately send the message, your mind learns impulsive reaction. If every time you are anxious, you immediately seek reassurance, your mind learns dependency. If every time you feel uncomfortable, you immediately escape into entertainment, your mind learns avoidance. But if you begin practicing something different, your mind begins learning a different pattern. You feel anger, and you wait. You feel anxiety, and you breathe and examine the situation. You feel discomfort, and you continue the task. You feel the urge to check your phone, and you return to your priority. You feel the temptation to quit, and you take one more deliberate step. That is how a new mind is built, not by pretending your old impulses do not exist, by refusing to let those impulses automatically become your behavior. And this leads to another powerful Stoic morning practice. Choose discomfort deliberately. The modern world constantly tells you to remove discomfort. Make everything easier. Avoid boredom. Avoid waiting. Avoid difficult conversations. Avoid hard work. Avoid anything that makes you uncomfortable. But a life organized entirely around comfort produces a mind that becomes increasingly fragile. The more you avoid discomfort, the more threatening discomfort becomes. This is why deliberately doing something difficult in the morning can have such a powerful effect. Wake up when you said you would. Make the difficult phone call. Exercise even when you do not feel like it. Study when entertainment is more attractive. Write when inspiration has disappeared. Clean the space you have been avoiding. Finish the task you keep postponing. These actions may appear unrelated to success, but they are all teaching the same lesson. I can do difficult things without needing to feel ready. That belief is incredibly powerful because so many people wait for motivation before they act. They wait until they feel confident. They wait until they feel inspired. They wait until the fear disappears. They wait until the circumstances become perfect. And years can pass while they wait. The Stoic approach reverses the order. Act according to principle first. Let your feelings catch up later. You do not need to feel disciplined to behave with discipline. You do not need to feel courageous to take a courageous action. You do not need to feel motivated to begin. The action itself can create the emotional state you were waiting for. Think about someone who wakes up and immediately chooses comfort. They check their phone. They scroll. They watch something. They tell themselves they will start soon. Then they feel guilty. The guilt creates more discomfort. They escape into more entertainment. Eventually, the morning is gone, and they begin the day feeling behind. Now imagine another person. They wake up. They make their bed. They drink water. They move their body. They spend a few minutes thinking about the day. They identify the most important task. Then they begin. They may not feel dramatically motivated, but they have already created evidence that they can trust themselves. And self-trust is one of the most valuable forms of confidence. Real confidence is not constantly telling yourself that you are amazing. Real confidence is knowing that when you promise yourself something, you have a history of following through. Every kept promise strengthens self-trust. Every broken promise weakens it. That is why your morning matters beyond productivity. Your morning is a daily opportunity to rebuild your relationship with yourself. If you have spent years saying, "I will change," and then repeatedly doing nothing, your mind notices. If you say, "I will wake up earlier," and repeatedly ignore your own commitment, your mind notices. If you say, "I will stop chasing people who disrespect me," and repeatedly return to the same pattern, your mind notices. But the reverse is also true. When you start keeping small promises, your mind notices. When you finish the task you said you would finish, your mind notices. When you walk away from an argument instead of reacting, your mind notices. When you choose discipline over impulse, your mind notices. Slowly, your identity changes. You begin to see yourself differently. Not because someone gave you a motivational speech, because you have accumulated evidence. You have shown yourself that you can be trusted, and that is the foundation on which a successful life can be built. Your morning does not need to be perfect. You will have bad mornings. You will oversleep. You will lose focus. You will sometimes reach for your phone. You will sometimes choose comfort. You will sometimes react emotionally. The goal is not perfection. The goal is direction. If you fall back into an old pattern, return to the new one. Do not turn one bad morning into a bad week. Do not turn one mistake into an identity. Do not say, "This is just who I am." You are not required to remain loyal to a version of yourself that you have outgrown. Every morning gives you another opportunity to practice becoming someone stronger. And tomorrow morning, before the world tells you who you should be, remember this: your attention belongs to you. Your response belongs to you. Your effort belongs to you. Your character belongs to you. Your choices belong to you. The world may be unpredictable, but you do not have to be. You can become the calm person in the middle of chaos. You can become the disciplined person in a culture addicted to comfort. You can become the focused person in a world competing for your attention. You can become the person who does not need perfect circumstances to move forward. That is what it means to rewire your mind for success. You are not trying to become someone who never struggles. You are becoming someone who knows what to do when the struggle comes. There is another morning discipline that can completely change the way you experience your day. Stop asking yourself how you feel and start asking yourself what your principles require. This sounds simple, but it can become one of the most difficult changes you ever make. We live in a culture that constantly tells us to follow our feelings. If you feel motivated, work. If you feel inspired, create. If you feel confident, speak. If you feel like exercising, exercise. If you feel uncomfortable, leave. If you feel angry, express it. If you feel tired, quit. But feelings change constantly. Your principles can remain. If your life is controlled by your feelings, your behavior becomes unpredictable. You become productive when you feel good and passive when you feel bad. You become kind when people treat you well and cruel when they disappoint you. You become disciplined when motivation is high and undisciplined when motivation disappears. The Stoic does not ask feelings for permission to do what is right. This does not mean ignoring emotions. It means refusing to make every emotion the boss. You can feel tired and still do what matters. You can feel afraid and still move forward. You can feel angry and still speak with control. You can feel discouraged and still keep your commitment. You can feel uncertain and still take the next step. This is one of the greatest differences between temporary motivation and genuine discipline. Motivation asks, "Do I feel like doing this?" Discipline asks, "Does this need to be done?" That distinction can change your entire life. Think about the number of opportunities you have lost because you were waiting to feel ready. The business idea you never started. The book you never finished. The skill you never learned. The conversation you kept postponing. The application you never submitted. The workout routine you abandoned. The creative project that remained an idea. You may have told yourself that the timing was wrong. But sometimes the timing was not the problem. The dependence on feeling ready was the problem. You cannot build an extraordinary life by requiring extraordinary feelings every morning. Some mornings will be inspiring. Some will be ordinary. Some will be difficult. Some will be painful. Your principles must be strong enough to guide you through all of them. This is why your morning should remind you of the person you want to be, not simply the results you want to achieve. If you want success, ask yourself what successful behavior requires from you today. If you want strength, ask yourself where you need to practice strength today. If you want peace, ask yourself what you need to stop carrying today. If you want confidence, ask yourself what promise you need to keep today. If you want freedom, ask yourself what dependency you need to release. Success becomes much clearer when you stop thinking only about the destination and start thinking about the qualities required to reach it. You do not become disciplined by wishing for discipline. You become disciplined by repeatedly doing disciplined things. You do not become courageous by thinking about courage. You become courageous by repeatedly choosing action when fear tells you to retreat. You do not become emotionally controlled by reading about emotional control. You become emotionally controlled by practicing restraint when you are actually provoked. The morning gives you a chance to prepare for those moments. Before the pressure arrives, remind yourself that pressure will arrive. Before someone disappoints you, remember that people are imperfect. Before something goes wrong, remember that something will eventually go wrong. Before the day demands flexibility, accept that your plans may change. This is not negativity. It is preparation. A person who expects life to be perfectly smooth experiences every obstacle as a crisis. A person who understands that obstacles are part of life experiences them as challenges to navigate. That difference can determine whether difficulty breaks you or develops you. The next morning rule is to practice gratitude without becoming passive. Gratitude is often misunderstood. Some people think being grateful means being satisfied with everything and never wanting more. That is not the Stoic idea. You can appreciate what you have while still working toward what you want. You can be grateful for your current life while building a better one. You can appreciate your health while pursuing greater fitness. You can appreciate your income while developing new skills. You can appreciate your relationships while establishing healthier boundaries. You can appreciate today without surrendering your ambition for tomorrow. The power of gratitude is that it prevents your desires from becoming dictators. Without gratitude, the mind constantly says, "When I get that, then I will be happy. When the money arrives, then peace. When the relationship arrives, then happiness. When the promotion arrives, then confidence. When the channel grows, then satisfaction. When people recognize me, then I will finally feel valuable." But the finish line keeps moving. You achieve one thing and immediately need another. You reach one level and discover another level. You receive attention and become afraid of losing it. You earn money and become afraid of losing it. You gain status and become afraid someone will take it. This is how people become prisoners of their own desires. The Stoic approach is different. Want improvement, but appreciate the present. Work hard, but do not become consumed by the outcome. Pursue excellence, but do not make external success the foundation of your identity. When you wake up, recognize what is already present. You have another day, another opportunity to learn, another opportunity to correct mistakes, another opportunity to strengthen your character, another opportunity to do meaningful work, another opportunity to become slightly better than yesterday. That is not a small gift. It is enormous. There are people who would give almost anything for another ordinary morning. The person who understands this does not need to become less ambitious. They become more purposeful because they stop wasting the present while obsessing over the future. And this is where gratitude becomes connected to success. A grateful mind can work patiently. An entitled mind demands immediate results. A grateful person can appreciate progress. An entitled person only sees what is missing. A grateful person can continue when the reward is delayed. An entitled person becomes frustrated when life does not move fast enough. Success requires delayed gratification. You must often work today for results that may not appear for months or years. You must plant before you harvest. You must study before you understand. You must practice before you become skilled. You must create before people recognize your work. You must remain consistent before consistency produces visible results. This is why gratitude can protect you from quitting too early. When you can appreciate the process, you are less dependent on immediate rewards. You begin to understand that progress itself has value. The person who learns to enjoy becoming better becomes very difficult to defeat. The next morning rule is to identify the one thing that deserves your best energy. Not 20 things. Not a long list designed to make you feel productive. One meaningful priority. The modern world celebrates busyness. People proudly say they have been busy all day. But busyness is not the same as progress. You can spend 12 hours moving and accomplish almost nothing important. You can answer messages, check notifications, watch videos, rearrange files, scroll through social media, respond to minor requests, jump from task to task, and, at the end of the day, feel exhausted. Yet the most important thing remains unfinished. The Stoic approach is more deliberate. Ask yourself what actually matters. What task, if completed today, would make the day meaningful? What decision have you been avoiding? What project deserves your strongest attention? What action would move your life forward? Then protect time for it. This is difficult because important work is often less immediately rewarding than distraction. Your phone gives you instant stimulation. Meaningful work often gives you delayed satisfaction. Entertainment gives you immediate pleasure. Building a skill requires patience. Checking messages creates a feeling of social connection. Working toward a difficult goal may feel lonely. The brain naturally gravitates toward immediate rewards. So, discipline requires you to consciously protect the future from the impulses of the present. Every morning, choose something that your future self will thank you for completing. Then do it before the day becomes crowded with other people's priorities. This is not about becoming obsessed with productivity. It is about becoming intentional with your life. There is a difference between being busy and being effective. Being busy means your time is occupied. Being effective means your time is directed. And the person who learns to direct their time eventually gains something more valuable than money. They gain agency. They begin to feel that their life belongs to them. They stop waking up and simply reacting to whatever arrives. They begin creating. That is a profound psychological shift. You are no longer just surviving the day. You are designing it. The next morning discipline is to remember that your future is being built by ordinary actions. This is one of the hardest truths to accept because human beings love dramatic change. We want the breakthrough, the sudden transformation, the extraordinary opportunity, the moment when everything finally changes. But most meaningful transformations are much quieter. A person becomes physically stronger because they repeatedly train. A person becomes financially stronger because they repeatedly make better decisions. A person becomes wiser because they repeatedly examine their experiences. A person becomes calmer because they repeatedly practice restraint. A person becomes successful because they repeatedly do valuable things, even when nobody is watching. The ordinary is where extraordinary results are built. This means your morning does not need to feel spectacular. It needs to be consistent. You do not need to completely transform your life tomorrow. You need to make tomorrow slightly better than today. Then, repeat. That is how compounding works. A small decision appears insignificant when viewed once, but repeated over hundreds of mornings, it becomes an identity. Reading a few pages seems small. Learning every morning becomes knowledge. Writing for a short period seems small. Writing consistently becomes a body of work. Exercising seems small. Exercising consistently changes your physical capacity. Reflecting on your behavior seems small. Years of reflection can produce wisdom. The Stoics understood the power of repetition because philosophy was not supposed to remain inside books. It was supposed to become practice. A person could memorize every teaching of Marcus Aurelius and still remain emotionally uncontrolled. Knowing is not enough. The philosophy must become behavior. This is why your morning routine should not be designed to make you feel like a philosopher. It should make you behave like one. When you are tempted to react, practice restraint. When you are tempted to complain, Look for the useful action. When you are tempted to blame, examine your responsibility. When you are tempted to chase approval, return to your values. When you are tempted to quit, remember why you started. This is practical Stoicism, and it can change your life because it changes the person making the decisions. There is another morning practice that can dramatically strengthen your mind. Review yesterday without attacking yourself. Many people wake up carrying yesterday emotionally. They remember the embarrassing moment, the argument, the mistake, the missed opportunity, the thing they should have said, the thing they should not have said. Then they punish themselves mentally. But self-criticism without reflection is useless. The goal is not to ask, "Why am I such a failure?" The goal is to ask, "What can yesterday teach me?" That question creates growth. Maybe you lost your temper. What triggered it? Maybe you wasted several hours. What made distraction so attractive? Maybe you trusted someone too quickly. What warning signs did you ignore? Maybe you procrastinated. What discomfort were you avoiding? Maybe you succeeded. What did you do that worked? This is how you turn experience into wisdom. Every day becomes a teacher, even failure, especially failure. A mistake that teaches you something valuable is no longer merely a mistake. It becomes information. A painful experience can reveal a boundary you needed. A rejection can reveal an area where you need growth. A failed project can expose weaknesses in your preparation. A difficult relationship can teach you what you will no longer tolerate. The Stoic does not romanticize suffering, but the Stoic refuses to waste suffering. If something painful happens, ask what can be learned. If something goes wrong, ask what can be improved. If you fail, ask what the failure revealed. Then move forward. Do not build a house inside yesterday. Yesterday has already happened. You can learn from it. You can repair what can be repaired. You can apologize when necessary. You can change your behavior, but you cannot live there. The morning belongs to today, and today deserves your attention. This is where the final morning discipline becomes especially important. Practice acceptance without surrendering ambition. Acceptance does not mean saying, "I cannot change anything." It means accurately recognizing what has already happened. You cannot change the fact that someone left. You cannot change yesterday's mistake. You cannot change the years you wasted. You cannot change another person's decision. You cannot change the past. But you can decide what happens next. This is where strength begins. The weak mind argues with reality. The strong mind studies reality and responds intelligently. If the situation is painful, acknowledge it. If you made a mistake, admit it. If you lost something, grieve it. If someone rejected you, accept it. Then ask the only question that matters. What can I do now? That question brings you back to power. You may not be able to recover what was lost, but you can protect what remains. You may not be able to change someone's opinion, but you can control your behavior. You may not be able to undo the past, but you can prevent the same mistake from becoming your future. Acceptance closes the argument with reality. Action begins afterward. And this is why Stoicism is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming emotionally intelligent. You still feel, you still care, you still love, you still experience disappointment. You still have dreams. You still want success. But you stop allowing those things to control your entire existence. You learn to hold desire without becoming its slave. You learn to experience fear without becoming paralyzed by it. You learn to experience anger without becoming destructive. You learn to experience sadness without allowing it to erase hope. You learn to experience success without becoming arrogant. This is what a rewired mind looks like. It is not a mind that never experiences negative emotions. It is a mind that has learned what to do with them. And when you practice these principles every morning, something begins to change beneath the surface. You become less reactive. You become more deliberate. You notice distractions faster. You recognize emotional triggers earlier. You become more comfortable with discomfort. You stop needing constant external stimulation. You begin trusting yourself. You begin respecting your own decisions. And slowly, the person you were begins to lose control over the person you are becoming. One morning you realize that something that once would have ruined your entire day barely affects you. Someone says something disrespectful, and instead of immediately reacting, you consider whether their opinion deserves your energy. A setback appears, and instead of saying, "Everything is going wrong," you ask, "What can be done next?" A goal takes longer than expected, and instead of quitting, you continue. Someone does not validate you, and you remain steady. You experience uncertainty, but you keep moving. That is transformation. Not becoming invincible, becoming harder to destabilize. And the beautiful thing is that nobody has to give this power to you. You can begin building it tomorrow morning. You do not need permission. You do not need perfect circumstances. You do not need a new year. You do not need a new month. You do not need another motivational video. You need a decision. A decision to stop surrendering your mornings to distraction. A decision to stop allowing feelings to dictate every action. A decision to focus on what you can control. A decision to practice meaningful discomfort. A decision to appreciate what you have while building what you want. A decision to protect your attention. A decision to become someone you can trust. The mind you wake up with tomorrow will be influenced by what you repeatedly practice today. So do not underestimate small actions. The way you speak to yourself matters. The things you consume matter. The people you allow into your mental environment matter. The habits you repeat matter. The promises you make to yourself matter. The things you tolerate matter. Every repetition teaches your mind what to expect. If you repeatedly choose distraction, distraction becomes easier. If you repeatedly choose discipline, discipline becomes easier. If you repeatedly choose resentment, resentment becomes familiar. If you repeatedly choose forgiveness and boundaries, emotional freedom becomes easier. If you repeatedly choose fear, fear becomes familiar. If you repeatedly choose courage, courage becomes familiar. This is why the morning is such a powerful place to begin. You are establishing the direction before the day becomes complicated. You are teaching your mind what deserves attention. You are reminding yourself that you are not simply a passenger inside your own life. You are responsible for steering, and there will be days when you forget. There will be mornings when you fail. There will be days when you wake up tired and everything feels difficult. Do not use those days as evidence that you cannot change. Use them as opportunities to practice returning. The strongest people are not those who never lose their way. They are those who know how to return. Return to discipline. Return to purpose. Return to your values. Return to your priorities. Return to the work. Return to yourself. The goal is not to create a perfect morning. The goal is to create a reliable mind. A mind that knows what matters. A mind that knows what it can control. A mind that can tolerate discomfort. A mind that does not require applause. A mind that can continue without immediate rewards. A mind that can face uncertainty without surrendering. That kind of mind is a tremendous advantage in life, because while other people are constantly being pulled in different directions, you remain anchored. While they chase every new distraction, you remain focused. While they react to every opinion, you remain grounded. While they quit because progress is slow, you continue. While they demand certainty before taking action, you move forward with courage. This is the Stoic Path, and